Hi guys, Katima Gaming here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I wanted to do a review of my new and handy dandy Galaxy S10. Yeah, that's right. Daddy upgraded. I finally upgraded and it's been amazing. But yeah, I know I'm very late to the party. There's like a million reviews of the Galaxy S10 already out there. So I wanted to add a little twist and tell you how it feels like to upgrade after 4 years. Yeah, that's right. The last phone I actually owned was this baby right here, the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium, which I bought in 2015. Hey, it's no joke. This phone was a juggernaut back in its day. So I wanted to do this review from a mere mortal's point of view, unlike people with first world problems, how a normal guy like me who doesn't poop cash feel about getting these new phones after so many years, and what's the leap of technology like from a perspective of a regular user who just upgrades every 4 to 5 years. But before we do that, let's take a look at the Galaxy S10. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Samsung Galaxy S10, the 10th anniversary phone of Samsung's S series. And right out of the box, you could feel the speed and fluidity of the UI. It's smooth, responsive, and really fast. With the Snapdragon 855 chipset and 8GB of RAM, this baby can put my laptop to shame. Opening apps is as fast as it can be, and this time around, it's even easier to multitask. The multi-window and split screen are so seamless, making it fast and easy for you to get things done. You can even adjust the multi-screen, tapping and dragging it in the middle and making the top or bottom bigger, and it works like a charm even in landscape mode. Games take very little time to load and is shown in bright high resolution, packed with a 6.1-inch Infinity O display showing a 1340 by 1440 resolution. As you can see, even games like XCOM takes very little time to load, and the moment you boot up the game, you are straight into action. Football Manager is also a game that is known to take a lot of processing power from a phone, but as you can see here, the S10 can handle it just fine. Now the exciting part, the cameras. This phone has three cameras at the back. First, a telephoto 12 megapixel camera for zooming in, as you can see here. The standard wide-angle 12 megapixel camera with an aperture that shifts between f1.5 and f2.4 depending on the light. And the most exciting, the ultra-wide 16 megapixel camera. Here are some samples of the telephoto moving to the wide angle, then boom, the ultra-wide angle capturing all that view. Here's another example where we are using the telephoto, then to the wide angle, then boom, the ultra-wide, surely one of the reasons why this phone is the one to get. Okay, last sample, here you can see zoomed in with the telephoto, moving into the regular wide angle, then boom, ultra-wide angle capturing everything from the temples to the people. This phone is also wireless charge capable, holding up to 3,400 milliamps of battery. But what really impressed me the most is the wireless power sharing, which makes your S10 a wireless charger and making you able to share your battery with other phones that are Qi wireless charger compatible. It's a gimmick, but sure comes in handy. Now with all that said, let's talk about some of the stuff that I don't like about this phone. I can't reach the power button with one hand. With this new design and my hand size, it means I cannot reach the power button with my one hand. Actually, on my old Sony phone, the power button is actually very close. As I said, my usual hand position is like this, and the power button and fingerprint scanner is just right there. Compared to the Samsung Galaxy, if I put it side by side here, you can see that's the power button of the Samsung Galaxy, and this is the power button of the Sony Xperia, which also doubles as a fingerprint scanner. So it's a shame that I'm no longer even using the power button. As a compromise, I just double tap it, and if I do need to close the screen, there is an in-app here that I just press, and yeah, I don't have to reach out anymore, because I have a very short and pathetic thumb. Another annoying design is the Bixby button, which can be found on the left side just below the volume rocker. Because of this layout, it is possible to hit the Bixby button by accident, which can be annoying. The Bixby button can be reassigned though, but double tapping it still brings up that useless app. The front camera is also not that impressive. It's 10 megapixel with autofocus and sadly with auto balance as well, meaning it's hard to work with if you're trying to set the shot you actually want. Low light selfies are also not impressive, and that auto white balance just isn't smart enough to detect the pictures and trying to get what you actually want. A lot of noise, a lot of white, and not enough warmth. Like we talked about, there are 3 cameras at the back. The telephoto for zoom and details, your standard wide angle, and everyone's favorite, the ultra wide. You can choose a variety of shooting modes to suit your needs, and the Pro mode gives you full control of the camera. However, the Pro mode is only available on the standard wide camera and not the ultra wide, which is a shame. And you know what? I don't get it. I don't get it why Samsung only chose to use the wide angle lens to have a Pro mode, not the ultra wide. We need the ultra wide to have a Pro mode, because I can bet this is going to be the most popular camera. The ultra wide is the most popular camera that's going to come with these units. And you're telling me we can't go balls to walls with the ultra wide? We can't do Pro mode on the ultra wide? I can't adjust my aperture. I can't adjust my ISO with the ultra wide mode. It really sucks. So I really hope that Samsung will patch this. This is probably just a software oversight, right? Samsung, you're going to patch this up, right? The new ultrasonic finger scanner on the display is also not as accurate, which hampers the seamless experience of the phone. Along with its low security facial recognition, I think you're better off just using a PIN code. Now let's talk about that hole punch, shall we? So far it hasn't been obtrusive at all, and all the apps that we use is actually designed specifically to get around the hole punch. If you look at Flipboard, for example, or even Google Chrome, you can see that it either integrates itself with the hole punch or it separates the hole punch completely. Even going to Google Maps, one of the interesting part is that Google Maps is completely integrated with the hole punch, and you can see that the design and the map is even going around the display. Watching full screen videos, it doesn't seem like the hole punch is intrusive at all. You can actually even zoom out if you want the hole punch to be completely covered, and zoom back in if you want the whole full screen experience. I didn't notice anything obtrusive about the hole punch design. I thought it worked out just fine, even when playing video games. As you saw the previous clips with loading screens, the game starts up with the hole punch actually blacked out to the side. And you know what? The only practical disadvantage I can imagine with the hole punch is if you're watching a sports game or maybe stocks where there are statistics and numbers all over the corners and all over the screen. That's when I think the hole punch becomes a little bit in the way. An easy way to avoid this is simply flipping the phone the other way so that the hole punch will be on the bottom right instead of the top left. I think that's the easiest way to get over it. I am starting to get annoyed with people complaining about the hole punch, saying that it's a design flaw and etc, etc. Why didn't they go with a notch, blah blah blah. To be honest with you, it's just personal preference. Look, just stop bitching about it. Stop complaining about it. If you want a phone with a notch, buy the phone with a notch. If you want a phone with a hole punch and you like the design, get the phone with a hole punch. Stop bitching about the hole punch. If you don't like it, please just move on with your life and get the notch. It's just the way it is, and I believe that these are just limitations of currently existing technology. The future is bright, but for now, this is what we get, and I'm pretty grateful. I like it. Overall, I am very happy with the Galaxy S10. It's futuristic, it's powerful, and it's sleek. Of course, there are some design flaws that I believe can be patched out, and I really do believe that the hole punch is a glimpse of the future. I'm very, very excited of what's to come. Now it's time to answer those difficult questions. Oh, Katima Gaming, why Samsung? It's so tacky. Why didn't you go with the S10 Plus? Why not the S10e? It's just the same. Whoa, okay. Slow down. First of all, I actually wanted to avoid Samsung. The whole reason why I got this Sony phone in the first place was because I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. But since Sony phones are not common, it's really hard to find places that would fix them unless I actually pack this up and send them to the Sony Center in Bangkok, which would cost more. Getting a mainstream phone means that there is tech support everywhere, and aftermarket cases as well as accessories are easier to find. Had there been a shop that could fix my Sony phone battery and overheating issues, I could have waited till 2020, but the phone is bricked now and there's nothing I could do about it. Also, resale value. So I asked a friend of mine, what's the value of my Sony flagship phone in 2019? And he told me, you know what, man, if it's not mainstream, if it's not hip, if it's not in, if people are not looking for it, then it has no value. So definitely no one is looking for this phone. No one cares about it. It's not a popular brand here in Thailand anyways, so this is just no better than a paperweight now. However, flagship mainstream phones do retain their values as years go by. So let's say 4 years from now, when I decided I want to get a new flagship phone, this will still retain probably half of its value. So the money that I get from selling this phone 4 years from now will help cushion the price of the new phone that I actually want to buy. So the other question that a lot of people ask me is like, why not the S10e? Or why not go all the way to the S10 Plus if you're going to spend that much? Well, for starters, the S10e is a little too small and it does not have that awesome ultra-wide camera that everyone just loves to use, and hopefully we'll get a Pro mode. Right, Samsung. Also, the S10e only comes in a 1080p. It doesn't have that 1440p that I was looking for. And you know what? The S10 Plus is actually too big. You know, as you saw, I struggled with the Note 9. It's just a little bigger than the S10 Plus. And I tried out the S10 Plus with one hand at the showroom, and I just end up dropping it. You know, I love using phones with just one hand. And if it's too big, it's just not for me. Okay, now the last and biggest question before we go. What's the difference coming from a 2015 flagship phone? And to be perfectly honest, not a lot. Of course, everything is much more refined now. Faster processors, of course, better quality cameras, brighter screens, and even bigger batteries. But what we had 4 years ago are still there. 4K cameras, fingerprint scanners, high-resolution displays, wireless charging even. So I was very grateful that I decided to get a flagship phone in 2015 because it's still relevant in a way even 4 years after. You know, I just regret not taking better care of this and getting it through 2020. The biggest difference coming from a common consumer like me, I guess, would be the curved screen. And oh my gosh, the screen to body ratio. I mean, just look at that screen to body ratio. I mean, look at this. This is an HTC M9 Plus. This was a plus already in 2015. This is my wife's 2015 phone, and just look at the screen to body ratio. There's so much screen here, there's so many bezels in this one, and you could see the difference in technology. Wow, the hole punch is just amazing, the notch too, just amazing. But what really blew me away is the ultra wide camera, and I think that the competition when it comes to camera technologies on phones will be the ultra wide. we'll see where it goes, you know. So should you get the S10 though? I think it'll really depend on where you are in the smartphone industry. If you're coming from an S8 or an S9, wait for it. I mean, like 2020 is a landmark year. I'm calling it right now. The next S, that Galaxy, will be not S11. It'll be S20. Samsung will say S20 to commemorate 2020. I'm calling it right now. So yeah, that's it for me here at Katima Gaming. I hope you found all this information useful in order for you to decide what phone you get. And you know what? Comment down below what phone you got. If you got a new one, what do you plan to buy in the future? Like and subscribe. This really helps us a lot. And we hope to see you again in our past, present, and future videos. Sawasdee krap.